So, my buddies and I decided to cruise around in Europe for 2 months back in '95. And wow, what an incredible adventure it was. We started in England, spent a week there, and then cruised down France, and then down into Spain. And in Spain, it was nice to be able to speak Spanish, and that was, it'd been a long time since I was in Colombia in '93, a couple of years, where I could speak Spanish constantly. So I was real excited. Madrid, we had a good time there, but we got on the train, left Madrid. We were kind of like, the city's too big. We went down to Seville. And we got into Seville about 5 in the morning because we took a night train to save money because we had an unlimited Eurail pass, meaning we could get on any train for free. And it was awesome. So, all right, so we got there 5 in the morning. We're real tired because we didn't sleep real well on the train. And these guys there were getting off the train, Americans. And we were boarding the train, and they're like, "Hey, you guys here for Semana Santa?" And we're like, "Semana what?" And they're like, "Semana Santa, the Holy Week." And we're like, "Oh, no, we're not. We're just here." And they're like, "Dude, it's kind of busy right now. This place is like the world famous place to go to Semana Santa and celebrate Semana Santa." And we're like, "Oh, that's cool." And they're like, "You're not going to get a place to stay unless you have reservations." And we're like, "Reservations? What are those?" And anyway, so they're like, "Hey, well, you know what? We actually left early. We were going to stay another night in the place we just left. Go directly there right now, and you might be able to get into where we left." So we go to this place. They give us the address, and it's downtown, but not, it's the old downtown of Seville, where the roads are real narrow. And the roads were built, back before cars were invented. So these streets are really, sometimes they're so narrow that just small cars are the only things that can pass through these narrow streets. So we get there and we check in, and we're like, "Yeah, this is nice. We're here." But we were so tired from not having slept on the train that we just sacked out. We're just like crashed out, sawing logs, and we're just having a peaceful sleep. And what was cool was our room was right overlooking the street below, so we had this balcony, and you could open up the shutters and look down, see, But we closed that because we wanted it as dark as possible to sleep. So anyway, it was, I don't know what time exactly, but, a couple hours later, we had got there at about 6 in the morning. And a couple hours later, I am awakened to this insane trumpet, loud. Crazy, loud trumpet noise. And I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, and this crazy trumpet." I mean, maybe it was 9:30 or 10, I don't know, but it was so loud and obnoxious. It was like someone is just really playing a cruel prank here on, poor travelers who really need their sleep. But anyway, I decided to get up and investigate. What the heck is going on? So I look, I open the shutters, and I look down, into the streets, and I was like, okay, there's the idiots that are playing the music, and they're marching along, and there's a bunch of people marching and stuff. And then, to my surprise, I look, and I'm like, what? I take this double take, it's like, what? Because I saw in the streets this, and it was quite shocking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What is the KKK doing here in Spain? And I'm like, gosh, that is just nuts. This is crazy. I gotta warn my buddies here. We're being attacked by the KKK. Anyway, I kept watching, just like totally intrigued by this bizarre situation. And anyway, then I looked, and there's this big old huge thing coming down the streets, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was a statue of Jesus, and it was crazy because the statue was on this platform, and it was kind of weird. It was like going back and forth through the street, the narrow street, and it was like, it had this appearance that it was floating, and it wasn't being driven by a car. I could tell that because normal floats are just cars or whatever, and but this thing was weaving kind of back and forth through the narrow street down below. And I'm trying to find one on the internet here, and it was bizarre because it had this crazy look, like it was alive. Take a look. Yeah, it was moving back and forth, and it was just wild because here I was thinking, how is that thing, coming down the street? It seemed to be, like I said, it seemed to have it was like moving under its own power. It seemed like a miracle. And then I'm like, I have got to go check this out. So I told my buddies, I was like, hey, something is going on down there, and it is crazy. I'm going to go check it out. If you guys want to go down, I'm going to be down in the streets below. And so I go check it out. And come to find out, I get down there, and, there's all these KKK-looking guys, and then, these floats kind of sauntering back and forth in the streets, and then I get a closer look, and all I see under these floats are a bunch of feet. And sure enough, that's the deal, is these floats are being carried by a bunch of dudes underneath, and the feet were like so numerous I couldn't even count them. I don't know how many people were under there, but it was a real heavy thing to be carrying, so they needed a lot of people. Anyway, it was crazy. As I was watching, I was like, wait a minute, this is not a KKK rally. That became obvious. And then I was starting to think, what is older, the KKK or these processions here? And I was starting to think, most likely these guys have been doing this for a lot longer than the KKK have been around. So I just invite you to check out what Semana Santa is all about. It is a wonderful tradition that the Spaniards have done for hundreds of years, and I got to see it firsthand, and it's pretty intense. So I highly recommend a little study of Semana Santa, especially in Spain. All right, hasta luego. Paz, hermano y hermanas.